Okie doke, it's fire time. I've had myself a bath. I'm now out of the bath. It is 19 degrees in my room, so the radiator's working, which is very good. Main fire's nice and hot. It's just pure anthracite coal with little blue flame, so it's breathing well. So let's try just cardboard. In fact, let's get not too greedy with the wood. Let's just try the cardboard. See what happens. And I set fire to some cardboard. Right, there's a flame. 3 degrees today, and that was in the sun. So it was a bit cold last night. I didn't have any heat in my room, so I just put extra blankets on and put some clothes on, which led to a dream where I was being strangled because the clothes are constricting me. It was not a very fun dream, and I've got gut ache today, so I'm being strangled from the inside. That's what I get for having mashed potato. I think mashed potato is not good for me, which is an unpleasant revelation. I've also cleared the coals out of my fire. I'm going to just pick them up one by one, stick them back in, and then I'll have some ash, which I can then sweep up, because I think the ashtray, ash check, I mean, you saw it, I didn't see it. But anyway, there's the flame. It's gone all the way from the bottom and it's now at the top, which is not the way I was thinking the flame was going to propagate, but I think it's going to snuff out unless I do something. Do you think? Oh, it's gone out. Right, well, I was going to ask, do you think a bit of extra fuel will help? I think it needs heat more than anything else. There we go. Bit of extra heat. Ugh. Ugh. I had a prayer today, and I felt a lot better after saying that prayer. So, you know, here's hoping God can help me with material things. I don't think it's a particularly it's not like I'm saying, dear God, I want a Bentley and a pony and a 5-bedroom farmhouse in the Cotswolds. It's just a prayer for make the repairs be an affordable price so that I can continue to drive. You know, it's a lot better than, we actually did more harm than good to your car and broke it. So call a scrapper, get £250, if that, for the car, whilst they make more than that than on just one wheel. And then again, that's why they give you desperate prices. They go there, they pick it up, and they make their money that way on the car, which by all intents and purposes should be on the road. But anyway, today is not a woes of things that the mechanics have broke day. Today is a my gut aches, and I'm not cold at least. It was a nice hot bath. Normally I have showers, but I had a bath today, and I thought, no, I'll have a bath, and I'll have a shave when I'm in the bath. Just take things nice and relaxed. It's not as if I've got anything else to do today. So I did that, and it warmed me up because I was cold in the bed. So yeah, just do something they say never to do, which is insert foreign objects in the ear canal. If we're not supposed to do it, then why does it feel so good? Huh? Answer that one, atheists. talking with my dad about simulation hypothesis today, and I said, well, that sounds like we're living in God's creation, but with extra steps. And he says, it's the problem of today, it's the modern... He didn't say it's the modern lens, but I'm trying to paraphrase what he's saying. It's like, he said, because today we're so very concerned with accurate simulations in all fields, that eventually those using simulators and making them notice that the world around us is very similar to a simulation, so the difference being it's real. And then I talked to him, I said, hey, do you remember that episode of Star Trek where Mr. Moriarty becomes self-aware so that he can be a worthwhile match to Data? And he says, yeah, that's one of the better episodes. And he said he saw it rewatched it recently, so they must be doing reruns on one of the telly shows, chat stations. And he said he didn't realise what it was about, or he forgot. And he said, rewatching it, it's a case of, as you become more, because I mean, originally, like, Mr. Moriarty is evil, but as he becomes more aware, and he gains morality. So, yeah, I thought that was an interesting lesson. Well, I said to him, the reason it was reminding me recently is because I saw a meme. I didn't bother explaining what a meme is. Just so I saw an image, and they said, what happened to Mr. Moriarty when the Enterprise got blown up? And he says, oh, I don't remember the Enterprise blowing up. And it's like, it didn't happen in the series, it happened in Generations. It crashes into that planet. So, you know, did somebody think to use like a memory stick? I was going to say USB, but I don't think they'll be using USB 500 years from now. But they put them on the memory stick and just take them into the escape pod with them. It's like, or would there be like an automatic transference, like you know, backed up onto an escape pod? And I don't know, but yeah, he was an interesting character, which they never bothered exploring again, which I've always thought was a bit of like a swizz. It's like, you made this really interesting character, and you encounter, like, you know, some pretty vicious aliens here and there, like the Ferengi. What if you just said to Mr. Moriarty, hey, we're dealing with these vicious people, what would you do? And he comes up with some devious scheme to trap them or something. But that would involve a level of writing which I think was beyond the writer's ken. Point being, his world's a simulation, but he's a creation, and he's real enough. And I think that's what you can be said for our world. Like, it's real enough. I mean, sometimes it feels quite unreal. Past few years have felt rather surreal to me. There's been a lot of changes in my life. It's led to some emotional instability, but less emotional instability than others. And it's been of some concern, by the way. I've noticed the way friends and acquaintances are suffering, and there's nothing that, you know, there's, I say there's nothing. I don't have the capability to make things better, and it's frustrating, because it's like, well, this is not the problem that intelligence can solve. I mean, some of it is. Some of it would be a case of, well, that's the problem as well. I just think, okay, so using intelligence, practical solutions, you know, energy systems, more efficient energy systems, or just retreading old ground and going, well, it seems that there was a different energy system back in the past. But then you start looking into the political thing, and then it gets a bit depressing, because you realise, like, oh dear, there's this blackmail cult, and anybody that tries to speak up against it gets ridiculed, character assassinated, or outright assassinated. And I think we're seeing that. Now this will date this video if you're watching it in the future. The recent one we're seeing it is with the artist formerly known as Kanye West, who now goes by the name Ye. they are doing to him something very similar they did to Michael Jackson, who his music became more political. And I think when it did, that's when he started getting problems which weren't problems before. And I feel like you don't get into those positions and allowed to rock the boat. There's a network there, and they like keeping the status quo. Thing is, anybody that gives it more than just a scant regard can see that something's wrong, can see there's probably a conspiracy. Because when I'm saying conspiracy, I mean in terms of a criminal conspiracy. Like if I don't know, let's say you and your mates, well, not mates, but you and your business rival sell propane, and you all start saying that these price cuts, price wars are bad for business. So you agree to do price fixing, and then you all do price fix. Well, that's a conspiracy, because you conspired in secret with others to fuck people over for your own gain. And that's the legal language I'm using there, to fuck someone over for your own gain. You'll see someone like Black Belt Barrister use that very specific term. It's a legal term to fuck someone over. It's in Black's Law Dictionary, next to monster, and that can be a bit depressing, because you go, oh well, if I make a battery which runs on water, I'll end up dead. And they'll shit on my memory when I'm dead and won't be able to defend myself. And so intelligence won't fix the problems. Compassion will probably help a bit. If you show compassion for your fellow man, that's probably going to go a long way. And then you can do practical support as well. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, we can't, one man working on his own, rediscovering the same technology over again and getting killed for it. That's not going to make any change. So it has to be a collaborative effort. And until I can think of anything better, I think the best collaborative effort one can do is to pray. Yep. I think you should seriously consider prayer. And when you sincerely pray, good things happen. Might be a bit subtle, might not always be the help you wanted, but it'd be the help you needed. Well, I think prayer would help a lot. Do that collectively. And then, I'm not saying miracles happen. Actually, yes, I am. I am saying miracles happen. Miracles do happen. And they're probably more likely to happen if you're praying as a group and singing from the same hymn sheet. If you pray with one voice. I think there's a term for that. To speak with one voice. I wonder what Catholic means. But anyway, fire's breathing good, sticks are burning, and I am going to extract one of the logs from underneath. I'm doing it this way so I don't have to bend over, because, oh my god, my guts hurt. Is there such a thing as too much fibre in one's diet? Yesterday I had fish, mashed potatoes, and I had apple compote. It's probably not going to do any harm, because you're not constipated. But on the other hand, those stomach cramps were no laughing matter. That would be nice if I could use my big brains to figure things like that out. But then I'd have to start being systematic and eating to a set pattern, and not just eating on a whim and eating for pleasure, but eating for science. And then replicating my results, going like, well, on Tuesday I ate this and then I felt unwell, so I shall try next Tuesday eating it and seeing if I get the same results. And is it the food or is it Tuesday? And then try eating it another day, and then finding out the amounts. Like, is 2 pints of milk going to cause him stomach cramps? What about 1 pint? What about half a pint? What about 3 pints with lactase enzymes? So, yeah, there is a way I could use my intelligence to figure out gut health. But again, that would take out the spontaneity. I think one needs a bit of spontaneity in life, otherwise it's very much clockwork, which is a facsimile of life. It's not really alive. You can do some quite remarkable things with clockwork. You can have animations and music and all playing to a synchronized beat. I mean, you can even do things such as the swan made out of crystal, all running on clockwork. Very beautiful, very lifelike. That's the thing, it's lifelike, it's not life. And I think one of the keys in life is spontaneity, even if it does lead to a bit of physical or spiritual distress. And yeah, I say spiritual distress because I'm thinking spontaneity is why you just go, today I should drive a Jag. And then later on you get distressed with like, oh, that's the repair bill. Oh, you've broken my exhaust manifold. Why, thank you. Oh, you want me to pay you money to fix your mistake, do you? Yes, I see. Well, you're a business, not a charity. But at the same time, how would you like it if I went to your business and said, well, I've smashed your windows, but don't worry, I'll put some new windows in and you can pay me for it. How's that? Does that sound like a good deal? It's like, oh look, I'm in the business of fixing people's windows, but my windows are fine. Well, they're broken now, so I can fix them. I feel in the future this could be like some sort of sketch. This mechanic goes to various places, and he gets all these people damaging his property, but then saying, "Oh, sorry, mate, but it's all right. We'll fix it. We'll give we won't give you a good rate or anything, but we will fix it." And he's saying, "Oh, but that's not fair." It's like, "Oh, it's just part and parcel of business, isn't it? So sometimes things get broken." It's like, yeah, but that was like, my prized possession. Oh, Hobbit, why are you being so mean to the mechanics? They do a hard job. Would you like to be in their shoes? Not particularly, no, I wouldn't. But then again, I'd probably feel quite upset about damaging someone's property and be like, look, this was my mistake here. So how about I not charge you full price for the labour? Or how about I just go, oh yeah, I broke that. Why don't I make amends and not break things in the future? Let's get another log on it. Right, got myself another log. Look at this one. It's got an extra layer of a flammable accelerant on it. That's good. That's going to burn really well. Probably will actually. It's been drying off for some time. Now, I'm not sure if you noticed this, but it's sticking out a bit. So, I reckon I can close that. So if I just close it like so, you see, that's as far as I can close it, which is not all the way. So if can I push the sticks in? Not really. Oh yes, I can smell that log now. What if I do this? Nope, that doesn't do it. Don't want to push too hard, don't want to break the fire bricks. I've already got I think it's this one here is damaged. I put it back though, so it's doing its job. Which led me to ask the question of why do you put fire bricks in a stove? I mean, surely you want the heat to get out. And the answer is like, yes, you do want the heat to get out, but you want it to get out in the direction you want. I mean, rather than heating up these walls, wouldn't it be better if the heat came out that way into one's room? So that's why you have fire bricks to insulate, so the heat's all reflected, not just back into the room, but back onto the fire itself. So the fire sustains itself. Very useful if one is burning coal. You don't want the conductive steel walls to wick away the heat from the coals on the side, otherwise they'll never combust. You won't be able to get them hot enough. But anyway, I've been talking too much and too animatedly. Let's enjoy the sound of a fire. Starts off quietly. Sorry, John Peel used to do this thing whenever a song started quietly. It just, with his massive voice, which would always be into the red when I was recording it onto my tape deck, be like, starts quietly. And that's where I heard about bands like Ad Into X, Boards of Canada, The Boy with the Arab Strap, Jesus and Mary Chain, which I always got mixed up with The Boy with the Arab Strap, Badly Drawn Boy, that was a good one, Plock, oh, that was just another one from Warp Records. Did I hear about Aphex Twin from... doubtless he played Aphex Twin on there. And then there was just I can't name any names, but he did play a lot of jungle. And in fact, if you go on YouTube, that you'll find the last song he ever played in 2004 was by Clute, and it was called No One's Listening Anymore. And that's actually a pretty good song, if you like drum and bass, which I do. And I found that very poignant, like, no one's listening anymore. Well, I suppose it wasn't just me, but I had stopped listening to him around about 2002, 2003, when I had Napster and I was just like, oh, I can download all this. It was really great at the time because it's like, this is like John Peel, but without listening to all the shit music he plays. I can just download the music I like, which back then that was a big deal. The idea that you could download individual songs for free was great. Oh, listen to it. It's like a sauna. I'm going to put my damp socks on back in a while, but just for the moment enjoying the heat. Doubt this song will be saying that was a prosthetic foot, that's not a real one. We all know your father's Eritrean. It's funny actually, I could say, oh no, my father's not Eritrean, he's from Niger. Bloody Eritreans. Of all the things to say, why can't you say, oh, I think he's from Chad? Or Burkina Faso. Yes, Hobbit keeps mentioning Burkina Faso. He must be from there. Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso. You are watching Fire Time in Burkina Faso. I am traditional English gentleman. I live in Burkina Faso. Imagine if Sting's song was, I am an Englishman in Burkina Faso. I'm reminded of Sting now because of his probably the best role he ever did, which was to play Fade Ralph Harkonnen in David Lynch's 1984 Dune. And in that, somebody actually understood the point of the story, which I never actually got until recently, that all ginger people are evil. And if you've seen the film, you'll understand why. But look, I think I've done it now. I reckon we have got ourselves a sustainable fire. So let's... No, it's not quite ready to go in. What if I give that log behind it a poke? Will that work? So I can give that a poke. And then, what about this? Like so. And then, because that heat of those embers will not transfer that gap to that gap, I'm going to put another one. Ouch! Embers are hot. I'm going to put another piece there, like so, and I reckon that will do the job. So, what's it stuck? It's stuck on that, isn't it? Stick you in there, like that. And hey, look, we've got some flames there. That's good. Right, I'll leave the door open and give that fire time to breathe. Can you imagine, in the allotted time that this recording's taken, an entire commercial production could have been done? Now, what would you rather watch? Food and Drink with Hollyhocks Woman, or a Niger English gentleman talking about fire and his, things going on in his life? No, hang on, that wasn't the theme tune to Food and Drink. I'm thinking that was Wish You Were Here, wasn't it? God, that must have been a difficult job. Yeah, so every week we're going to send you to these tourist destinations, and we want you to just talk about it, basically. Like, you know what job that sounds like to me? Like, it's like, Daddy, I want a job in media, but I want to go on a holiday as well. I know, daughter. What about I'll send you out and we'll film you on a holiday having a grand old time, and you just talk about what's great about the place, and it'll build up a portfolio of your work, and we'll pay you a modest wage of £75,000 in early 90s money. Oh, Papa, that sounds like a great way to start off my career. Whatever happened to the people in Wish You Were Here? And what was that show on Channel 4, The Rough Travel Guide? There was a woman on that who reminded me of that Argentinian woman, the famous one. Name escapes me. She had the big glasses. Is it Sophia Loren? I don't think she's Argentinian. No, there was like this... Wasn't she a bit like Jacqueline Kennedy, but she's the Argentinian First Lady, and she was like this big celebrity because she sang or she hosted good cocktail parties. So there was like some famous Argentinian women. But anyway, the lady on the rough travel guide with her hair and her sunglasses and all that, in Morocco or here I'm traveling to Disneyland in Florida, and tell you about the holiday you can have in this magical kingdom. I think that's. She reminded me of the Argentinian lady whose name escapes me and it's bothering me. Anyway, goodbye.